Gold Squad TV. Tampa Bay loses to Kansas City 27-24. Mahomes looked ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous when I tell you. He had 382 yards in the first half. Most since 1980. Finished the game with 482, 3 touchdowns, no picks. The offense is just too hard to stop. I'm succeeding right now. Pat Mahomes is MVP. If Pat Mahomes is not MVP, I will be shocked. He is MVP this year. He will be the second time he's an MVP. There's no debate. If anybody sits there and says Pat Mahomes is not MVP, I will go off on them. And I'm not even a Pat Mahomes fan. I don't even like Pat Mahomes. But you know what? My dislike for him is not personal. It's just because he's that damn good. There's nothing you really could do about him. Like, there's nothing you could do. You can't cover. You can't do anything to stop him. That said, Tyreek Hill had a couple of touchdowns. I wasn't feeling that backflip in the second touchdown, man. I thought that was highly classless on his part. He should have got thrown out the game. I'm all for celebrations and stuff like that. But you're showing up the defense. And then he was on the sideline trying to be Shannon Sharp. Later on, I really was not feeling that personally. I've never been a big fan of Tyreek Hill. He's an amazing talent, but I'm not gonna lie. The dude's kind of an egomaniac, kind of a diva. He's kind of like comes from that diva school of receivers. That said, he's an incredible talent, regardless how I feel about him. It doesn't really matter. I'm just a future podcaster, y'all. That said, let's really be real, man. I don't think anybody beats Kansas City. Now, I just don't see it. I don't think the Steelers beat them. I don't think whoever plays them in the Super Bowl beats them. I think they're going to win their second straight title. I think they're well on their way. They might damn near have a three-peat, which will be the first time it's ever happened. I'm calling it right now. Unless they lose some parts next year, I don't see anyone beating them. That said, let me just keep it a buck with you. Tom Brady had a great game despite the 2 picks. The first, those picks were kind of fluky picks, so I'm not going to throw that on him. Tom Brady looked like Tom. He did look like Tom today. Anybody sitting there saying he's a system quarterback needs to go back in their hole. Your Tom Brady hate. Without Tom Brady today, that team gets blown out. Their defense wasn't stopping anyone. Outside of Pierre Paul and Ndamukong Suh getting pressure every now and then, and maybe that fumble that Mahomes had, I don't see their corners couldn't stop me. The reason why Homie was doing a backflip in the end zone, their corners are playing atrocious right now. They've been playing atrocious since the New Orleans game. They have not been playing good. They cannot defend the long ball. That said, Gronk had a really good game as well. Had 100+ yards and a touchdown, I believe. Mike Evans had a couple touchdowns. Tampa's now 7-5. I think they'll pick it up and start winning again. They lost 3 straight, or 2 straight, or 2 out of 3. They've lost 2 out of 3, but I think they'll be all right. I think people are just overreacting because of Tom. That said, I think Bruce Arians, I have a really good feeling Bruce Arians is going to get fired after this year. Brady will still be their quarterback going into the next season, and Bruce Arians will be looking for a new job or retired. That dude is not proving to me that he's a Super Bowl caliber head coach. Throwing your quarterback under the bus is not the right thing to do because you care too much about your egotistical system. And do not be surprised if Todd Bowles, or I'll even go one further, even if Josh McDaniels ends up getting that job next year. Because Tampa wants to win a Super Bowl and they need to be able to use their weapons effectively. Tom is not a long ball thrower. Never has been. Even when he had Randy Moss, he was never really, he had the ability to throw the Moss, but other than that, he wasn't throwing the long ball like that. So use him to his strengths, not his weaknesses. Doesn't mean he's a system quarterback. He's not. That said, they need to get the running game a little more involved. Jones and Fournette need to get a few more carries more, and they just need to have more balance, man. Their defense is outside the front four. Our front four is dope. Outside the front four, their defense is atrocious. They cannot stop the long ball. You know what I mean? So I don't know how far they're going to get in the playoffs outside of Brady willing them there, because I just really don't see how their secondary is going to get exposed. That said, it's all good. Tampa will be all right. Brady will be all right. And by the way, I'm not a Tampa fan. I respect Brady. Brady's a former Patriot, and I'm a Patriots head. That said, Gold Squad TV, Tampa 7-5, Kansas City is damn near 11-1. Man, they look so much more dominant than Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's like 10-0. They look way more dominant than Pittsburgh, and they have one loss. Pittsburgh doesn't. So we'll see. Gold Squad TV, be back in a few. Peace.